Um, so yeah,
Let's
the
see.
360 reporting tools where you're
360
gonna
reporting.
be
Okay.
able to do a lot of this sort of thing. There are some templates in here that could be helpful, but the only problem with the templates is that because we have custom fields in the daily log, the templates don't really account for that. They don't
Okay.
include those custom fields by default. So
Hmm.
it'd probably just be easier to create your own, and single tool is probably the way to go. You might not even have the 360 option. I'm not sure. Or you might not have the right permissions to create one with the 360 report. They kind
Okay.
of do permissions differently uh,
Yeah.
between the two.
Let's
But
see
single
here.
tool should really be all you need for the most part. Um,
Let's
Give
see
it a
here.
name.
Tool
Let's see.
reports. And so is that also under the just to get to this main report, is that also under 360 reporting under tools?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That'll all
Yeah, I'm
be
just trying
that
to like
360
drive and sort of
reporting tool.
navigate so I can, that's kind of how I learned how
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
to drive. Okay. So the daily log, that is going to basically be the DWRs for
Correct.
our inspectors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to
So,
be where you can get, I think all the information that you'll want will be under that
Yeah.
daily
That
log
is what we
form.
look at like in AWP now.
okay.
So how is that going to work? Is everything going to like communicate over to AWP, or the inspector's going to have to like, they're not going to have to double enter, right?
So for now, they do have to double enter.
Okay.
We're working on the integration with
That's right.
AWP. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Tyler
hopefully,
told me all about that.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, definitely one of the goals with that integration is to get all the information that would
See.
be in a AWP, DWR,
Mm-hmm.
would come from Procore, so that way they don't have to go in and do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Trying to think what
So
so
yeah,
I
I'd
let's see if
know,
probably,
any of our
yeah.
projects have started to see what's in there already.
yeah, yeah,
See,
it's a little different with the
we have
sandbox because
two.
all the data in there is kind of just, it's not real data. It's all
Okay.
people just putting in test stuff. Um, but it still
Gotcha.
kind of gets the point across. Like, I think notes was one of the sections that um, Tyler and I talked about civil rights wanting to see. So go back. I don't know if I can go back. If you click that notes log, you'll see
Uh-huh.
all the
Oh,
fields
wow.
here. And anywhere you see that VC underscore field, those are
Mm,
our custom fields.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
this one in particular, overview of work performed is where you'll see that narrative that you're used to seeing in PlanGrid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, I've actually never used PlanGrid.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's okay.
okay. So yeah, that's where, like they would type out their paragraphs of like what happened on
Right.
on the job that day.
Yeah. They typically like will just copy that into their AWP diary. So yeah, so it's in both places.
Yeah. Um, then this other one is just a yes, no if work was performed that day, so that could maybe be useful.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you would want to see who created the entry. So you could add that column.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll give you a name of who created it, and then date too. So if you want to filter your report to
Mm-hmm.
like a certain time range, you'll have to have this date column added.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else, Tyler? What did we have in that other one? So just those four?
Let's see. We filter it by date, project project name, all of year, only Salem, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, so it would probably be the best date, project name, and then the VC field work performed today, yes or no, and then the overview, and then who created it, Connor.
I guess I'm wondering. would you need the project name there if it's if you're doing a single tool report on one individual project? You get what I'm
Um,
saying?
yeah, as long as it has the header, I guess, in the top right corner when you export it,
Yeah, it
that says what
should,
project you're on.
right?
I'm trying to remember though, Connor, at the do they have permissions at the company for single tool reporting?
They should have standard at company as well.
Okay.
I don't know if we didn't really test that one out too much though, did we?
Because what I was trying to see if there was a way for Michelle to create this report and then be able to look at all the projects that she's on
Yeah.
versus, each report being in the project. But I'm going to keep looking at that while you make this.
Yeah, we can test that if we need to. So I think these four columns should give you the notes you want. And then if you wanted to add more specific entries on manpower, which is like how many workers were on
Mm-hmm.
site that day, how many hours did they work,
Yeah.
you could do a completely separate report for that, or you could add a tab here
Oh, okay.
and go to your manpower log, and then you'll see all this information that's associated with the manpower log. So you'd probably want the workers, that would be like the number of workers, the hours, again, who created the entry, probably the date again, so you could filter by date. Um, Supervisor name, maybe. Uh, and then depending on the project, I guess these three custom fields could be helpful if they have
Mm-hmm.
that baseline schedule and they're using the activity IDs. You could add those in there, but I know that's not going to be every
Mm-hmm.
project. Could add total hours in there. So that'll just give you a quick calculation based on how many workers for how many hours, what's the total for all those workers.
I
Yeah, so
think from what I was messing with, I think you can create one at the company level too, Michelle, and you can look at
Mm-hmm.
every project that you're on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so
Oh,
that would be more, at least I could do that. I think you
okay.
probably have the browse all role, but I think with
Mm-hmm.
standard, you should be able to do the same.
we
I
can
think that would be okay. Typically, we're only like looking at one project at a time
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So that seems fine.
we'll take a look at what this looks like
Oh,
now.
cool. All right.
Um, so this is going to be, since we didn't add a filter for the dates, this is going to
Uh-huh.
be everything from the whole test project's life, I
Okay.
guess you could say. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to get like a specific week or something, you can see these fields will let you filter by that. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
and you can
date
filter by
field,
created by, that would be the inspector. That would be helpful.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So you could do that. There's all these different options for dates. So you could do, just today, just yesterday. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you want to see tomorrow's. I don't know how that would work because you can't even enter entries for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the last week, current work week, previous, so on and so forth, a lot of different options there.
Mm-hmm.
So if we just wanted to see maybe last week, now these will just be entries from last week. Um, and this one's probably more what you'd be used to
Yeah.
seeing, not
Yep.
these
Yep.
little test entries. But so yeah, that'll give you kind of a quick look at all those entries. And then if we go over to that manpower log, add that filter again, let's see what happened last week. Now, okay, this must be the wrong field because, or no, this is the right field. These numbers, sometimes the layout's a little weird. So like these numbers are the number of workers, even though it's kind of close
Oh,
to that
okay.
column. And then these would be the
Yeah.
hours and then the total
Gotcha.
hours.
Yeah.
So
It just
five
looks like they're
workers,
aligned to the right and they're just really
right?
wide. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So that'll give you a quick
that would be helpful.
screenshot of that and or snapshot, I should say. So,
Can you guys see my screen?
Mm,
yep,
Yep,
Okay, so
I
this
see
is
a
the
screen.
okay.
Oh, there you
This
are. Yep.
is an example of like a company report, and I just
Hmm.
grouped it by project. So
Oh,
if
cool.
you did it
Okay,
within the
cool.
360 company tool, you can see like it
Uh-huh.
highlights in blue the project, and it would have all the DWRs by date and whatever information you wanted below. And then as you get to your next project that you're assigned to, they would be
Hmm.
listed like this. So
Hmm.
this report, you could look at every project
Oh,
that
at
neat.
once.
you're on at once.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So might be something for you to mess with.
Yeah. Is there a way to, I see, it's just in some of the daily logs, I do see like the pay items. Is there a
Hmm.
way to filter by that?
Yep, I
Yeah,
can.
yep, you can add that. I'll let
That's
Connor
cool.
go just because he's probably got the screen still up.
Yep, so we can edit this one we were already working on. We could add a new tab to get the pay items.
Hmm.
So pay items are going to be added to the quantities
Quantities.
entry
Okay.
types.
Hmm.
So we could go in here, and those are all going to be the custom fields. So the item code is going to be that pay item
Item,
number.
item code. Yep, that makes sense.
So you could put that in. We could put the line item in, the description, and the quantity. And again, we'll go ahead and throw on that created by and the date. Can update that. Now, if we look at the report, go to that quantities log. So oh, I thought it was going to let me filter by the item code. Because right now, so here's the item codes and here's
Hmm.
looks like some actual good ones. So I
Yeah.
think, let me
I
see
think
if I can
the date would be the best way to do it. I think maybe it's because it's a custom. Maybe you can only filter by.
think. So I can add a group here. So I can group them
Okay.
by the item code. And then
Yeah,
let's
that would be
view it
helpful.
that way. Quantities. Again, and it would look a lot better with actual all real
Yeah.
codes in here.
Yeah.
But now it's going to group them by this code. So you
Hmm.
would, if there were multiple, let's see if there's a good one. So like this one, obviously not a real code, but you could
Hmm.
imagine there would be all the items of this code. So you could see all those quantities for this code. Then say I could still do it by date for,
Hmm.
let's say, the last 30 days. Then it's still going to be grouped by the actual pay item. You could see all the quantities for that pay item, what
Hmm.
day those were created, who created those entries. So, yep,
Hmm.
you can definitely get some pay item data
Yeah,
in
that
here
is
as
definitely
well.
helpful.
Yeah.